This is Matador News, and these are today's headlines. A meeting between President Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong Un is set after the release of 3 American hostages. And Google releases a new home feature that it says can improve your daily routines. Hello and welcome to Matador News. I'm Chris Farias.
And I'm Enrie Amezcua.
President Trump welcomed 3 Americans detained in North Korea when they returned to America earlier this morning. Kim Dong-chul, Kim Hak-sung, and Tony Kim had been detained in a North Korean labor camp accused for crimes against North Korea. The 3 were granted amnesty by the North Korean leader Kim Jong Un. Kim Dong-chul is the longest-held detainee, serving 10 years after being accused of spying. The other 2, both teachers, were detained in 2017. President Trump also acknowledged the parents of Otto Warmbier, the American college student who was captured in 2016, tortured, and then released in 2017. He died days after he was released, suffering from brain damage. The president says this recent release is a sign of good faith from the North Korean leader.
Now, all eyes are set on the summit between the 2 leaders. Set for June 12th in Singapore, President Trump will meet with Kim Jong Un in hopes of reaching an agreement for North Korea to abandon its nuclear weapons and missiles on the Korean peninsula. This will be the first time that the leaders of North Korea and the United States have met in almost 70 years since the end of the Korean War in the 1950s. Kim says he has suspended his nuclear missile testing and is putting his nuclear program up for negotiation, but questions remain on how serious the offer is.
5 top Islamic State officials were captured in a sting operation yesterday. President Trump tweeted about the capture earlier this morning. American and Iraqi intelligence forces have been planning the capture mission for 3 months. Iraqi officials say they have been tracking them for months prior to this year. The captured ISIS members held high-ranking roles in their territory in the northeastern Syria. Their responsibilities involved internal security religious rulings. The members were lured into crossing the Syrian-Turkish border, where they were trapped and arrested.
Escalating violence between Israel and Iran, the 2 rival battled for regional influence last night for several hours. Israel says Iran launched more than 20 rockets from Syria towards the Golan Heights. Israel retaliated and says it hit almost all of Iran's military infrastructure in Syria. Defense Minister Avigdor Lieberman says that if it rains in Israel, there'll be a biblical flood on the other side. Iran's leaders have not responded, but this attack will be the first time that Iran fired directly on Israeli forces. Israel reportedly had the first attack Iranian forces in Syria with rockets earlier yesterday, although Syrian military said that their air defense managed to intercept and destroy a big part of the wave of the Israeli missiles. At least 2 did hit an ammunition depot and destroyed a radar site. Human rights group says more than 20 people were killed.
Hawaii's volcano Kilauea continues to pose new risks. Scientists are saying it could soon send boulders and ash shooting out of its summit crater in the explosive eruption similar to the one that occurred almost a century ago. One United States Geological Survey representative says that this explosion can cause some serious damages.
We could get into a situation where the water from the groundwater below the water table could mix in with the magma, and then we would have these steam-driven explosions. So larger fragments can be blown out and greater distances.
Authorities previously ordered nearly 2,000 residents to leave their neighborhoods in and around the vents. Some, though, have ignored the orders and stayed to watch their property. The expected explosion is predicted to happen sometime in the coming weeks.
2 people were taken into custody after an FBI SWAT team entered a home in North Hills early this morning. Los Angeles Police Department officials tweeted that the FBI SWAT team assisted with the gang task force in serving a warrant for the suspects related in a gang-related homicide investigation. Nearby residents say they were awoken by what they thought were gunshots, but were actually flashbang grenades. Some residents' homes were also searched during the raid, and some residents themselves were also questioned. No further details have been released.
A dam has burst and killed 32 people in northern Kenya. The Kenya Red Cross says about 500 families have been displaced. The Paddle Dam burst in the town of Solai. The resulting flood wiped away homes and lives overnight. Local officials say small-scale farmers and their field workers were the ones mostly affected. Numerous floods throughout Kenya had killed over 100 people and displaced 260,000 since last month. The Red Cross the Kenya Red Cross is working to build a temporary shelter for now the homeless families. Other humanitarian organizations and Kenyan authorities are working together to airlift stranded residents.
Summer is just over a week away. Let's go to Ana in the newsroom to see what Matadors have planned.
With finals around the corner, CSUN students are ready for summer vacation, but that also means summer plans and spending money. I spoke to students about what their summer plans are.
Hopefully go to the beach. Other than that, maybe Six Flags, but just hanging out with friends, trying to take a load off and relax.
I'm going back to my country. I'm from Peru, so I'm gonna be back to Peru like 3 months there.
My family and I were thinking of doing a trip to Asia to visit family, so we might do that.
I can go out somewhere, maybe Africa. That definitely be an idea for me.
But if you think traveling abroad is too expensive, CSUN is offering students outdoor adventure trips where they can have as much fun as traveling to other countries. CSUN Outdoor Adventures Marketing Supervisor Eddy tells us more.
We focus a lot in the West Coast areas like Yosemite, Sequoia. We sometimes go to the Colorado River to visit the Hoover Dam.
These outdoor adventures are affordable for students, and students can also rent out sleeping bags, tents, backpacks, and more. Take advantage of these trips and have a safe summer, Matadors. Now let's go to Bridgette for the latest in business news.
Gas prices are rising for a lot of reasons. Demand is always higher in the summer, and U.S. oil inventories are low. Also, sanctions in Iran may become a problem. Saudi Arabia says it will help meet the world oil demand if Trump's Iran sanctions create shortfalls. The Saudis have helped fill gaps with global oil supply in the past in order to keep prices steady. But this time is more complicated. Saudi Arabia has a production deal with Russia, who is an ally of Iran and also being sanctioned by the U.S. The Saudis will not help if Russia is not also helping. On Tuesday, Trump announced he is reimposing sanctions against Iran. Oil could rise to $80 per barrel. Gas prices are currently at the highest level since November of 2014. U.S. oil production rose to a record-breaking 10.7 million barrels a day last week. With summer and vacations around the corner, that could get even higher. All new homes in California will require solar panels beginning in 2020. The regulation will increase the cost of construction, but it will save more on utilities over time and decrease greenhouse gas emissions. California is the first state in the country with this requirement. The idea is to make new homes produce as much power as they use. The law was passed yesterday, the same day that the EPA released a report on the consequences of climate change, tying retreating glaciers, dying trees, warming waters, devastating droughts, and wildfires to global warming. But the report also said that greenhouse gas emissions are declining, despite a rising population. Some researchers say solar panels won't make a difference because 40% emissions come from our cars. But on a large scale, there could be a positive impact. Google is bringing the future into our homes with their artificial advanced intelligence technology. Google has updated Google Assistant by creating its routine features to be more customizable to the user. Google's preset routines were created to help users voice daily tasks without manually inserting them. The update will allow Google Home users to set their own phrases for their daily routines at home. CEO Sundar Pichai says the assistant can even understand conversation, with a feature known as Google Duplex.
So how can I help you? Hi, I'm calling to book a women's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd. Sure, give me 1 second.
Puchai says the company has been working on this for years. Now, let's go back to Nicole with the latest in sports.
The Boston Celtics will play the Cleveland Cavaliers for the second straight year after they beat the Philadelphia 76ers. The game ended 114 to 112 and gave the Celtics a 4-1 series victory. The 76ers had a 4-point lead with 1 minute and 30 seconds remaining in the game. The Celtics came back to take the lead. Al Horford, Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, and Terry Rozier contributed to the 4-point lead with the 9.8 seconds left. With less than 12 seconds left, Joel Embiid had 2 chances to score. 76ers Ben Simmons attempted to make a full-court pass that was stolen by Smart. The TD Garden crowd rose to celebrate their team's victory. The series will begin on Sunday in Boston in a rematch of last year's Eastern Conference Final and from last year. The Dodgers take a 6-3 win over the Arizona Diamondbacks in last night's thriller at Dodger Stadium. The Dodgers scored with 2 wild pitches and a sacrifice fly and a hit batter. The Dodgers were able to overcome a homer by the Diamondbacks in the first inning to take the victory over the first-place D-backs. The Dodgers face off against the Cincinnati Reds tonight at 7:10. In hockey, the race for the Stanley Cup continues and the Jets and the Predators are ready to play. Neither of the teams have won consecutive games, and it has been back-and-forth series between both teams. The Predators took over Game 6 last night, 4-0 at the Bell MTS Iceplex. Only one of these two teams will be moving to the Western Conference Final. The decisive game will take place tonight at the 5 Pacific time in Nashville. Now let's go back to Bridgette with news and entertainment.
A woman has filed a lawsuit against rapper Chris Brown, claiming she was raped at his house in Beverly Hills. The woman, whose identity has not been made public, says that her and her then roommate were brought back to Brown's house for an after-party in February 2017. Their phones were taken from them and they were not allowed to leave. She claims Brown and his friends, Lowell Grissom Jr. and a woman named only as Doe X, forced them to drink, take unknown drugs, and while they were showing off the guns in the house. The woman says they were told to undress, and when she refused, she was grabbed by the neck and forced to perform oral sex on Doe X while Lowell Grissom raped her. She was then raped 2 more times in various rooms before she got her phone back and was released from the house. The woman, who is being represented by lawyer Gloria Allred, is suing all 3 for sexual battery, assault, and intentional infliction of emotional distress. She is seeking $17 million. May the Force be with you tonight, Jedis. It is the premiere of Solo, a Star Wars film focusing on the early life of Han Solo before his death in Star Wars: The Force Awakens. Some fans camped out last night on Hollywood Boulevard for 17 and 18 hours to have the best chance of meeting the stars. The premiere is being held in 3 theaters: El Capitan, the TCL Chinese, and the Dolby. Hollywood Boulevard is being shut down between Highland and Avenue and Orange Drive in both directions through 10 o'clock on Friday. The movie will be released in theaters and to the public on May 25th. Now let's go back to Nicole for the latest in health news.
4 cases of Ebola have been reported in the Democratic Republic of Congo. A total of 25 people have been infected in the town of Baikoro. At least 17 of them have died. However, only 2 cases have been confirmed as Ebola. UN spokesperson Stefan Dujarric says the World Health Organization will spend $1 million for emergency support over the next 3 months in order to prevent the spread of Ebola.
The World Health Organization is working closely with the government of the DRC to rapidly scale up its operations and mobilize health partners using the model of a successful response to similar outbreak in 2017.
The Ebola virus disease is a deadly fever that is transmitted by wild animals, which spreads in the human population. In 2014, an outbreak killed more than 10,000 people. You might want to stay away from salads. The romaine lettuce E. coli outbreak continues. A total of 149 people have gotten food poisoning due to the exposure of bacteria. 29 states are now reporting cases of E. coli illness. Health officials says the romaine lettuce infected has been tracked to farms in Yuma, Arizona. 30 cases have been reported in California with 1 death. Now let's go back to the newsroom with Matador News reporter Tianan Phelps on how you can release stress for your upcoming finals.
With finals coming up this week, CSUN students have yet to chance to relieve stress with their therapy dogs. CSUN is one of the many stops for the therapy dogs. These furry friends visit hospitals, retirement homes, and children's birthday parties. The dogs have been coming to campus multiple times for the past 6 weeks. Volunteer Melissa Black says she thinks that the dogs are the best way to help students de-stress during finals week.
Students always need a place to relax and kind of de-stress, especially around finals. And dogs are, I think, the best relaxation. And these guys are so loving and so sweet. I just think it's a great idea.
Some CSUN students say they will be going into finals less stressed this year.
Just say hi and stuff. So it just feels really, really relaxing after, even though I don't really have as much finals.
I feel a lot less stressed just because they are so fun to play with, and even though I don't like when they lick you, it's a really fun environment because they want to be played with.
And it makes me less stressed about finals because dogs are just the best, so.
Don't forget to stop by and get some puppy love before finals. You can pet some dogs and put a smile on your face. The puppies are in front of Sierra Hall on the Oviatt Quad. Now, let's go back to Chris in the studio with the latest on weather.
Your forecast for Mother's Day weekend looks like it'll be in the mid-70s. Northridge is currently 72 degrees and expect a high of 83 with low of 56. The Los Angeles area is partly cloudy with highs of 74 and lows of 59 degrees. Not a good day for the beach, but you can obviously take your mom out for the movies.
A panda at the National Zoo in Washington, D.C. named Bebe took a hard fall after playing up a tree. CSUN students can take a lesson from him for finals week. Maybe you've been having fun all semester, suddenly finals is here, and you're falling out of your own academic tree. Be like Bebe and just go right back up again. As we already know, there's still 1 week left. Thank you for watching Matador News. I'm Enrie Amezcua.
I'm Bridgette Creamer.
I'm Nicole Martinez.
And I'm Chris Farias.